So this build turns your Warlock into a walking ice storm, combining Rime-coat, Rainment and Ager's Scepter for devastating battlefield control. So with enhanced Bleak Watcher turrets that summon storms and stasis crystals, you are going to generate icicles that slow enemies every time you fire. Pair that with Ager's Scepter to chain slowing blast and you create a loop where enemies are constantly frozen, shattered and locked in place. The result is a build that doesn't just deal damage, it dominates the flow of combat, ensuring you and your fire team are always in control. Well, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button down below for even more Destiny 2 content here on Endgame Express. Okay, today I'm going to dive into this Rime-coat Rainment Stasis Warlock build, and we're going to go through why the build is good, the gameplay loop, and then we're going to put the build together. But you can always check the description down below for a Destiny item manager link, and that will help you apply the build to your Guardian. Okay, first of all, why this build is good. So the strength of this build comes from the synergy between Rime-coat Rainment and Ager's Scepter, which together form the backbone of a stasis control playstyle. Rime-coat Rainment transforms your Bleak Watcher turret into something far beyond their basic function. With the Bleak Domain perk, your turrets not only gain extended range, they also create a storm surrounded by stasis crystals. This field constantly feeds your stasis crystals, and they activate when you fire your weapons, applying slow to anything that you hit. What this means in practice is that simply playing around with your turret locks down entire areas on the battlefield. Enemies are being slowed, crystallized, and primed for shattering almost passively, while you're gaining resources for constant ability uptime. This control power pairs beautifully with Ager's Scepter, a weapon designed to capitalize on frozen and slowed enemies. Every kill with Ager's Call produces a slowing burst around the defeated enemy, and that stacks with the slowing and freezing already being provided by your turrets and your crystals. So with Rimecoat's icicles applying slow whenever you fire, Ager's Scepter essentially becomes an engine for chaining freeze effects across groups of enemies. Enemies caught in the turret storm or slowed by icicles are much easier to finish off, and each kill spreads the debuff even further. This creates a rolling wave of freezing and slowing effects, allowing you to control crowds in ways few other setups can match. The two exotics also reinforce one another in terms of flow and uptime. So Rime-coat Rainment ensures you're consistently generating stasis crystals and slow applications without needing to overcommit your abilities. At the same time, Ager's Scepter thrives on those frozen and slow targets, dealing damage thanks to stasis fragment synergies like the Whisper of Rending and the Whisper of Fissures. The interaction is very elegant. Your armor feeds your weapon opportunities, and your weapon clears enemies in a way that keeps your armor's storm zone relevant and also very oppressive. Ultimately, this build is really good because it's not just about damage or survivability, it's about total battlefield control. Rime-coat Rainment makes your turrets a persistent threat and a source of utility, while Ager's Scepter amplifies that control into lethal clearing potential. Together they create a loop where enemies are constantly trapped, slowed, or shattered, leaving you and your fire team in command of the fight. Okay, that is why the build is good. Next up, let's have a look at the gameplay loop. So first of all, we've got setup control. You want to convert your grenade into a Bleak Watcher turret, immediately begins locking down an area with slowing projectiles, and starts generating stasis crystals around it. Then you want to anchor yourself in the storm, so stay inside the turret storm aura to continuously generate icicles. These icicles empower your weapon with slow, layering more crowd control on every shot. Then you want to freeze and spread, so use cold snap grenades or penumbral blast to lock down enemies, and let your ice flare bolts chain freezes to nearby targets, expanding your control zone. And then you want to shatter and damage for energy, so then you want to destroy crystals or frozen enemies to trigger Whisper of Fissures explosions, and Whisper of Shards grenade recharge. They feed right back into the turrets. And then you want to melt with Ager's Scepter, so once enemies are slowed or frozen, switch to Ager's Scepter to shatter them efficiently. Each kill spreads more slow, amplifying the cycle and keeping the battlefield under your command. Okay, that is the gameplay loop. Next up, let's have a look at the builds. We're going to put it all together, starting off with the exotic armor. We got Rime-coat Rainment. This one is an exotic chest armor for Warlocks, comes with the perk Bleak Domain. So your Bleak Watcher turrets are enhanced with extended range and surrounded by stasis crystals and a storm. While standing in the storm, you're granted icicles over time. Icicles activate when you fire your weapons, applying slow to targets that they hit. You can get this exotic armour from Master Rahul in the tower, or Zur when he's selling it. Next up we have the prismatic subclass setup. So for the super, we've got Winter's Wrath. You summon a stasis staff. While your super is active, you cast out a barrage of stasis shards that freeze targets, and also you cast out a shockwave that shatters all frozen targets. But then we've got a healing rift, so conjure a well of power that continuously heals those inside it, and then Penumbral Blast, raise your stasis staff against a foe and send a blast of stasis forward to freeze your enemies. And then with the grenade we've got Cold Snap Grenade. This is a grenade that freezes on impact and sends out another Seeker to find and freeze targets. For the aspects we've got Bleak Watcher, so hold to convert your grenade into a stasis turret that fires flame projectiles at nearby targets. This one is crucial for the build and works really well with the Rime-coat Rainment. And then we've also got Ice Flare Bolt, so shattering a frozen target spawns Seekers that track and freeze nearby targets. For the fragments we've got Whisper of Fissures, so it increases the damage and the size of the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. We've got Whisper of Rending, primary ammo weapons do increased damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. Whisper of Shards, that is where shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering an additional stasis crystal increases the duration of the benefit. And then Whisper of Durance, so slow that you apply to targets last longer, and for those abilities that linger their duration will also increase. For the weapons in the primary slot we've got Ager's Scepter. This one is an exotic stasis trace rifle, and we've got the perks Ager's Call and Reger's Refrain. So Ager's Call first of all, final blows of the weapon generate a slowing burst around the defeated target. And at Reger's Refrain we've got stasis final blows transfer ammo to the weapon's magazine from reserves. In the energy slot we've got Ahab Char, although you can have any legendary weapon here. I went for the Ahab Char, I think it's a pretty good one. It's a legendary energy auto rifle with a rapid fire frame, meaning deeper ammo reserves. And you get slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. This one comes with the origin trait Bray Legacy. That means damage with the weapon generates a small amount of ability energy for your one closest to full charge. In the power slot we've got the Aurora Dawn. This one is a legendary power sword with a wave frame. That means a heavy attack deploys a shockwave uppercut and launches your guardian into the air. We can get this one from Edufei activities, and that includes the portal. Finally, for the mods on the head we've got Harmonic Siphon, so rapid stasis weapon final blows creates an orb of power. We've got Heavy Ammo Finder, so increase the drop chance of heavy ammo upon defeating an opponent. On the arms we have Bolstering Detonations, that grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade, and Momentum Transfer, causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. On the chest we've got Arc, Solar and Void Resistance, and on the legs we have Absolution, that reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power, Innovation, replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power, and Orbs of Restoration, so picking up an orb of power generates a small amount of energy to your ability with the least energy. On the class item we've got Powerful Attraction, so that automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. We have Proximity Ward, gain a powerful overshield while performing your finisher, and Special Finisher, so collecting an orb of power causes you to gain one temporary armor charge. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about this build, but that is it for this Rime-coat Rainment Stasis Warlock build in Destiny 2 Edge of Fate, and as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for even more Destiny 2 content here on Endgame Express. Thanks again, and I shall see you real soon.